We are Freedom Tickler, and I guess we are partners in crime.
Yeah.
We write all the songs together. Whenever anyone asks us who wrote that, it's always we did, which is pretty awesome. And I think that's sort of the symbol of our solidarity. I'm Meriam, by the way.
I'm Cody.
We should probably mention that we had jobs, let's see, this summer before we went on a big road trip and had worked a lot and saved a lot of money. I was bartending and working at a salon and was in the moving business. And once we came back from our road trip at the end of the summer, we decided we needed complete changes. I was working at 2 salons on the Lower East Side this year, and the city's just changing in a way that I feel doesn't really pay homage to the spirit that made it such a popular place to be. And I mean, even though we have jobs now, we'll probably still keep doing this. It's the best interaction that I've had with the city, so far. Was definitely a meeting place for a lot of artists and musicians, architects, whatever you were into that was a form of creative expression. And sort of like San Francisco, and Haight-Ashbury back were known for, a lot of the same thing, just cultural revolution, a lot of going against the grain, a lot of originality and inspiration. And I feel like, unfortunately, it's just not the same fusion of art and music and fashion that it used to be, at least not at the level of acceptance, open-mindedness. You feel like if you're different, you're not celebrated as much anymore. You're sort of cast off to the side. Everyone wants you to get with, I guess, what New York's becoming. Everything's very streamlined and everything has to be perfect. And that's part of the reason why I stopped working out there. My first job I quit because I just couldn't take it anymore, and the second job it was mutual. And now, there's still a lot of good stuff out there and a lot of people pushing boundaries, but it's becoming very Disney-fied.
I think that a lot of people came here for the music and the culture and everything, but now there's too many people that are just here to see it happening than to actually do it. So it's kind of there's not enough stuff happening now, I guess.
Sure anyone can relate, but just letting go of that financial net that you're talking about and just kind of going for what you really want to do. I mean, anyone from the richest person to the poorest of the poor, that's really hard for anyone to do. I mean, how do you get to that point? How do you get to that mindset?
Sometimes you're forced into it, and we were forced into it recently. But
you were forced into it.
Well, I mean, you just let go little by little by little, and eventually, if you want it enough, you find yourself in a position where you have to choose. And I think we found ourselves in a position where we had to be honest. And, you know, we just chose, I think that we got as poor about as we could get. And somehow we were still happy and we still wanted to play music.
I feel like whenever we kind of like jumped off the edge of the earth, but then we just kind of like floated, so.
Oh, you didn't fall?
Yeah, we didn't fall like all the way down. We kind of like parachuted and like we landed right here on the G train.
Final question, just what are your long and short-term goals?
They're kind of the
Goal?
same.
Yeah.
I mean, just to get our music out there as much as possible, to copyright it, set up our website, play as much gigs as we can, and eventually, hopefully, get big enough to tour forever.
Yeah, well, one of my the goals I really am down with right now is
Goals are down.
I'd like to do a tour of the country, but not like play in venues, just play play on the streets, play in
We've
like
talked about that.
play in like, you know, the transit, like mass transit places,
Just
whatever.
public places.
Like,
Yeah.
where would you go?
Just public places.
Yeah, we're just like, you know, all over the place. Any cities where like we have friends. The idea I have in mind is like the old medicine shows, when people would just travel around in these big groups and have these performances and everything, and then, you know, at the end they'd pass the hat around and more people will buy the medicine. So I want people to buy our medicine and like make them feel good. And before, I think people even played in clubs or bars. This is what they did. You know, they just played in public.